Hey guys, welcome to The Art of Comics. I'm your host, Andre Salazar. You're watching The Art of Comics, and today, super excited to talk to you guys about the Black Monday Murders by Image Comics, John Hickman. This book is brilliant. Just straight up, I'm going to say this is brilliant. There are times that you read comics, you read some entertainment, a book, or watch a movie or whatever, and it's little, you feel like it's homework. You feel like you got to work a lot. It's like to get into it. This was riveting. This was really, really, really good. Volume 1, $19. Image Comics, John Hickman. You might know John Hickman because he started out, really, his watershed moment was Nightly News. Artist, he drew the book, and then that blew up so big, he started getting his writing gigs, and I think pretty much he just writes. I would love to see him do some art, but as you could imagine, it's a lot quicker to write a story than it is to draw a story, so he's a writer right now. And this book, and I will tell you who illustrated it because it's great too, is Coker. Last name Coker, first name, I'm so bad, I should do this, Tom Coker. Tom Coker does a great job. He is, it's kind of the standard kind of modern style, like a Mitch Gerald's, Michael Lark, all those type of guys. So it's got that kind of a bit of a structural blocking, angled, geometric kind of work. Man, this book is good. Let's just talk about it. We're not gonna do a deep dive. We're not gonna look at all the art and stuff because we could do that. And there's some nice design elements to the book, and that comes from Hickman. He's very design oriented. You could see that definitely in Nightly News, But the logos, the symbols, the symbology, and the not symbology, iconography, and things like that, things like this. These little like glyphs that he created are really cool. Their meanings, really neat. I really do like the design of these chapters and the sections. So let's just go into it, okay? We're going to talk about the writing element more than anything, and that's what really grabbed me. Again, the art is good. The art is very good, and the coloring's nice, but that didn't grab me nearly as much as the story. If I distill down the story is this. The world economies and money power are controlled by these occultish cabals around the world. There's a little secret cabal in the States. There's one in the Arab nations. There's one in Asia. There's one in Russia, right? So these powerful little cabals, units of, 4, 5, 3 powerful families or clans run the financial system of that section, and they're all connected, and it's very kind of occultish, with sacrifice, blood sacrifices, with serving Mammon, right, the god of money and greed and lust and things like that. So that's what they do is they in these cycles, they have to sacrifice and do these things so that they can appease the evil god Mammon and become rich and powerful, right? That's kind of the elevator pitch. So it's an occult story. It's modern. What's great about it is the world building. So I want to talk a little bit about the world building of this, and that really is the level of background, detail, and world building that he had to do prior to even doing the script, the plot, the story, is immense. You can tell in this story that he spent a lot of time breaking all this down. And we see some of that. And it's great because there are time jumps. We get time jumps. It opens up, on, is it called Black Thursday or Black? I think it's called Black Thursday, right? Maybe it's Black Monday. The crash of 1929. I want to say Black Thursday, but I could be wrong. So the crash happens. We see that happening. Because of that crash, they sacrifice someone, right? So we have there, it jumps to 85, it jumps to 1985, it jumps to, I think, 1979. It then goes also into the modern time right now. So it goes in these little spots, and sometimes it's hard to kind of figure out what the hell's going on or who are these people. Well, what's great about it is he adds these genealogies, and he adds these elements of also of a, almost like script form of a journal or emails or deposition, interrogation or interview with a law enforcement, things like that, which really kind of add another element that it's not just a comic, but there's more to this. There's something that kind of like keeps building onto the background, kind of like what Watchmen did, where Alan would, at the end of each comic, single issue, he would have this like prose story, and that just added more. So that kind of helps add stuff. So it kind of eliminates the exposition you have to put in the actual comic. Brilliant idea. I mean, that's an idea to steal. That's a great idea. But it has these cool genealogies, which I don't know if you can see here, of the families, right? And how they're related and the different years that they go through their kind of power. And so the idea is that this little, the American cabal kind of has a cyclical rotation. So every, 3 years, they rotate to a different kind of role, right? So it's very kind of board game, like created, like kind of like this board game deal where you're in this different role, and there's the watcher, there's the ascendant seat, there's the scales, and there's a stone chair. Well, the stone chair is the potential sacrifice victim. So for certain times in history, during a crash or something like that, where there's a financial bottoming out and there's problems, you then sacrifice that person, and then you can retain your power or wealth. Well, so that's like kind of like the hot potato. You don't want to get the hot potato when the timer goes out, right? We never know when the timer goes out. But everyone gets a turn at it. And so he brings out, again, these really great kind of imagery and neat symbols that kind of like illustrate that. A lot of nice background. He really thought about this because he's showing the effects of these 3 generations back, plus modern, right? So you get the web of relationships and problems, and we see one family trying to take over the other family. And then right now, modern times, we go, and there's more. So it goes into like who was what position, right, in all these years. So just really neat stuff. And then now there's like, what if cabals from different groups started combining? So there's the Russian group. They now join up with the American group. How does that change the rotation? Because you don't have to do groups of 4. In Russia, it's only 3, right? They don't have a stone chair. It's called the executioner. And so like, how does that work? So it's just the world building, the ability to create this system. So he has to create the occult system, right? So he's studying, he's looking at esoteric things, he's looking at mystery schools, Golden Dawn, whatever, Illuminati. He's looking at that kind of stuff, researching. He comes up with his like system, little game idea of how it rolls out. And then he layers on top of that the families and those dynamics, right? And the power struggles and the weak one and the strong one and, that kind of a thing. And that's all just the background, right? That's just all the lattice. And then now, volume 1 is now what's the plot, what's the story of this particular, right? So we have a detective who's now trying to uncover a murder, and happened to be this other guy who wasn't one in the stone chair, and so like, what's going on? And so then you put that on top of this huge world background. And it was just damn good. I loved adding the elements of non-comic in here. Art was great. I'm definitely getting volume 2. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that I haven't got to read in a while that I've really enjoyed. Now, that said, I just read Walking Dead, and that was good. And what else did I just read? I read some Miyazaki, but I've been reading Toth, of course, which I love, but this has just got so much meat into it, and it's just so interesting. I mean, Jonathan Hickman really did a great job. I can't say enough. I'm also reading Invisibles, but let me tell you, sometimes Invisibles, which I love Grant Morrison, I love what he's doing, it does feel like homework. It is very erudite, and it is very dense, but it's like, it feels like a little bit more homework. This felt just really exciting, and yeah, maybe it's written for like a TV show, and yeah, you can see how this could be translated easily to a Netflix show, but I'm not gonna, that's just part of the business. That's why Image picked it up, right? Because you can sell the rights. It's possible to sell the rights. So, sometimes that's just the way that is. That's the business. You can't just make a book. Not everything could be Rusty Brown, or a Chris Ware book where it can only be in comic book form. Sometimes nowadays in business, you got to make stuff for publishers, like Boom, IDW, Dark Horse, these publishers. You want to make your own project, you better make it to where you can market it into other mediums. That's just part of it, because that's how they're making their money. Okay, so not a knock, just a system. I love this again. Well, I keep Monday night. It's Black Monday Murders. I'll say Monday Night Murders. It's something totally different. Brilliant book. There you go. That's my little review. When you're thinking about writing your book and you're thinking about comics, this is a great example of research, background, and creating that element of world building, and spending time. He spent more time writing the Bible, so to speak, of this than he did writing the script. That's my take. So there you go. Thank you so very much for subscribing. Thank you for watching, liking, comment below. Let me know what you think of the Black Monday Murders. Not Monday Night Murders, the Black Monday Murders. And let me know. So have a good one, guys. Bye. Take care.